In the dim glow of a Los Angeles stage in 2018, a frail 13-year-old girl from a quiet English village steps forward, her voice barely a whisper as she confesses her terror to millions watching. Then the music erupts, and Courtney Hadwin unleashes a primal roar that shatters expectations. A raw, jagged force channeling the ghosts of rock legends, earning a golden buzzer and hundreds of millions of views in days. But beneath the triumph lurked a deeper wound, the relentless suspicion that her shyness was a fabrication, her prior struggles hidden, her authenticity questioned by a world that adored yet devoured her. Years of silence followed, contracts that caged her spirit, labels that collapsed without warning, isolation that gnawed at her soul, forcing her to confront the terrifying cost of a voice too powerful for her young heart to contain. What happened in the shadows after the lights faded? How did that vulnerable girl survive the industry's betrayal and the public's doubt to reclaim her truth? This is the haunting journey of Courtney Hadwin, finally revealing the pain fans always sensed lay buried beneath the roar. In the fog-shrouded fields of rural County Durham, England, where the wind whispers through endless gray skies and the air carries the damp chill of isolation, a young Courtney Hadwin moves like a shadow through her days. Born into a humble family in a village that time seems to have forgotten, she is a girl enveloped in profound silence, her severe social anxiety weaving an invisible barrier between her and the world. At school, the harsh fluorescent lights buzz overhead as classmates' laughter echoes in corridors that feel endlessly long. Courtney slips into empty closets, her small frame curling tight against the door, heart pounding with the terror of being seen, of words failing her when eyes turn her way. Bullies circle, their taunts piercing like cold rain, mocking her unusual, raspy timbre when she dares to speak, her quiet demeanor branded as oddity. Inside, a storm rages unspoken, the fear that she is fundamentally broken, unworthy of connection. Her thoughts a whirlwind of self-doubt that leaves her breathless in the quiet of her bedroom. Yet, in those solitary hours, alone with the faint glow of a bedside lamp casting long shadows on faded wallpaper, something primal awakens. A voice emerges from deep within, raw, jagged, echoing the tormented souls of rock legends she discovers. Through cracked headphones, a power that tears through her fragility like lightning splitting the night. This talent, unearthed almost by chance during vocal lessons her family fights to afford, becomes both salvation and torment. Her grandfather, face etched with quiet sacrifice, depletes his pension. Her parents borrow against their modest home, the weight of their belief pressing heavily on her young shoulders. The internal conflict deepens, a girl paralyzed by the dread of human gaze, yet harboring a force that demands eruption. Voice too fierce for her tender heart to contain without shattering. Tentative steps into local stages, and the Voice Kids UK offer glimpses of release, the dim spotlights warming her skin, the microphone a lifeline, but each return to normalcy amplifies the ache. Whispers begin even here, faint doubts about the authenticity of her shyness, seeds of suspicion planted in online shadows. Courtney's mind churns with foreboding. This hidden power could liberate her, yet expose the wounds she guards so fiercely. The psychological chasm widens, fears of rejection intertwining with the intoxicating pull of performance, foreshadowing a greater stage where both gift and torment will explode into the light. And then the golden buzzer falls, but at what unseen cost to her fragile spirit? The vast auditorium of America's Got Talent hums with electric anticipation, rows of faces blurring into a sea under harsh stage lights that burn like judgment. 13-year-old Courtney stands frozen at center, her slight figure dwarfed by the expanse, voice trembling as she confesses her shyness to the judges, words barely escaping, laced with the raw edge of terror that has defined her existence. The silence stretches, heavy and suffocating, her hands twisting nervously, eyes darting to the floor as millions watch from afar. Then, the music surges, a primal beat that ignites something buried deep. Her body convulses with untamed energy, limbs flailing in ecstatic release as her raspy vocals erupt, fierce, soul-shattering, channeling Janis Joplin's anguished fire in Hard to Handle. The transformation is seismic. The shy girl vanishes, replaced by a whirlwind of power that commands the stage, voice cracking with emotion that silences the crowd before erupting in thunderous applause. Howie Mandel's golden buzzer descends in a shower of golden confetti, glittering like false promises under the lights, propelling her into viral eternity, hundreds of millions of views, flooding screens worldwide, comparisons to icons flooding her young mind. Sixth place finish feels like triumph wrapped in tragedy. The adoration, a double-edged blade that cuts deeper into her isolation. Offstage in hotel. Rooms with curtains drawn against the city glow. Loneliness creeps in. The global scrutiny amplifies her anxiety. Every comment dissected in the quiet. Hours, fears of exposure gnawing relentlessly. Controversies simmer beneath the surface. Accusations that her prior Voice Kids appearance and professed shyness are contrived, a persona crafted for sympathy, eroding her fragile sense of truth. Courtney wrestles in the darkness of her thoughts. The stage unleashes. Her soul's roar, granting fleeting freedom from the chains of fear. Yet the world beyond demands a vulnerability now questioned, twisted into doubt. Performances build in intensity, each one a battle. Sweat-slicked skin under blazing lights. The crowds roar a temporary bomb against the inner void. Family watches from afar, their sacrifices echoing in her guilt, while fan adoration offers ephemeral warmth. But the duality torments. Liberated in song, imprisoned in silence, her mind a battlefield where imposture's shadow looms large, the emotional toll mounting as she performs not just music, but the fragile essence of herself now. Under siege, but as fame beckons with a major label deal, what chains will it quietly forge around her creative heart? Signed to Simon Cowell's Psycho and Arista Records, Courtney Hadwin steps into the opulent yet oppressive world of peak fame. Sterile recording studios bathed in cold fluorescent hum where executives in sharp suits dictate the shape of her sound. At 14, she confronts sessions that suffocate her raw essence. Producers pushing polished pop gloss over her gritty blues punk soul. Tracks smoothed into conformity that clash against the jagged fire within. Her confidence erodes in the dim control rooms, voice straining against arrangements that feel foreign. A young artist fighting to preserve the authenticity that sparked her ascent. The psychological pressure builds like storm clouds. Lingering online controversies over her shyness and prior experience haunt forums and feeds. Accusations of inauthenticity amplifying her deepest fears of being unloved for who she truly is. Isolation deepens in lavish hotel suites, city lights flickering through windows like distant, unreachable stars. The weight of expectations presses down, her inner terrors of failure and fraudulence echoing in endless nights. Family sacrifices linger as unspoken guilt, their borrowed dreams now tethered to her success. Yet fleeting highs, live performances under roaring crowds, fan messages piercing the loneliness, offer fragile validation. Creative compromises foreshadow ruin. Each concession a chip at her spirit, the terror growing that her true voice, the one that roared from pain, will be silenced in pursuit of market appeal. Courtney's internal struggle intensifies in quiet moments, staring at studio walls adorned with platinum plaques of others molded to perfection. Gratitude wars with dread, the gilded cage gleaming yet confining, her jagged edges sanded down in the name of stardom. And then, without warning, the label crumbles, leaving her adrift in a void of uncertainty and deepening despair. In 2020, devastation strikes abruptly. Psycho Records folds, Courtney discovering her career's unraveling not through caring words but cold public headlines, the betrayal slicing deep into her already wounded trust. Late teens bring retreat into profound shadows, pandemic isolation mirroring her inner agoraphobia, months confined within walls that close in like judgment, vocal scares threatening the one outlet for her pain. Self-doubt surges in waves, guilt over family investments unfulfilled, fear that her raw talent was ill-suited to industry's polished machine. Online rumors swirl in the dim glow of screens, questioning her vanishing act, while internally she battles annihilation. The terror of losing not just her voice, but the authentic roar born from childhood storms. This crucible of darkness forges deeper psychological scars. Anxiety's grip tightens in silent rooms, echoes of past controversies fueling isolation, a haunting guilt that she has failed those who believed. Years stretch in creative limbo, the betrayal a constant ache, forcing confrontation with vulnerabilities long buried, the industry's indifference a mirror to her fears of unworthiness. Yet in the depths, resolve flickers, a fierce determination to reclaim her narrative amid the ruins. But from the ashes of this silence, could a rebirth be stirring in the quiet? By 2025, at 21, Courtney Hadwin rises transformed, her debut album Little Miss Jagged a defiant mosaic of blues, punk, soul, and rock woven from personal scars, independently crafted with producer Kevin Bowe, honoring her unfiltered essence in studios warmed by authentic collaboration. Tracks pulse with vulnerability and ferocity, lyrics bearing coming-of-age wounds under intimate lighting, her voice a matured roar that commands stages once more. Touring returns, spotlights casting dramatic shadows as she channels suppressed years into performances blending raw exposure with explosive power, connecting deeply with fans who intuited her buried truths. Psychological triumph unfolds, transcending anxiety's chains, industry's betrayal forged into strength, embracing jagged imperfections as core identity. Reflections deepen. In quiet post-show moments, backstage solitude now chosen, not imposed, her journey a beacon for the silenced, inspiring resilience against doubt and pressure. The shy child's roar evolves into purposeful artistry, revelations, affirming that genuine creation emerges from profoundest pain. In quiet reflection, under tour bus windows streaking with rain, Courtney ponders her legacy, testament to tragic yet triumphant rebirth, her voice enduring. And in her enduring, echo what truths will continue to resonate for generations haunted by their own hidden storms?